Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you directly after a 134 to 133 very narrow loss to the Denver Nuggets. This was an interesting game with inconsistent play on both ends of the floor. Let's get into it, talk about offense, defense for both teams, talk about how everybody played, and then talk about what we got coming up next. So, offensively for the Hawks, the first half was immaculate. We shot the ball insanely well in the first half. We moved the ball insanely well in the first half. We overall had a wonderful offensive half. They went zone a lot in the first half, and we dissected it with the pass very adeptly. And honestly, that's the first time I have seen us penetrate a zone with the pass that well, that effectively, that fast. And in the second half, they abandoned it. And the reason why is because it wasn't working. Why would you stick with the defense that isn't stopping the offense? Well, in the second half, they went to a blitz Jalen, attack Jalen's dribble, make Jalen's life very difficult defense. Try to make everybody else beat us. Don't let Jalen beat us. And it worked. Our offense screeched to a halt, and our overall field goal percentage screeched to a halt. And again, this is a time where it would have been very, very helpful to have a wonderful offensive point guard to keep us from going in the hole offensively. At one point in the fourth quarter, they were shooting in the 80% range because they have Nikola Jokic running their offense, and we were shooting in the 20% range because we don't have a true engine running our offense right now. To all the people who are screaming for us to trade Trae Young and go get other people, what you're asking for is to have nights where we cannot score. We have built our team around having Trae, and right now we do not have Trae. That is the reason why there are moments the offense looks pitiful, is because we do not have our offensive leader right now. Hopefully he will come back soon, but at times the offense was wonderful tonight. When you're making shots and making difficult shots, and the defense is rolling out kind of a dumb coverage against our team, we are one of the teams that's extremely athletic. When you're playing zone, one of the things that makes zone really not work is when you can attack it vertically, when you can throw lobs, like to get the ball in the middle, the center has to step up, and you just throw a lob, boom, dunk. We get a bunch of points from Dyson in the paint that way. We got a couple points from Onyeka in the paint that way. A couple of points from Jalen in the paint that way. When you can do that, it's really not really smart to go zone. And the Nuggets figured that out after about a half of getting torched. But then they went to the defense that every team that has gone with a blitzing style defense against the Hawks since Trae Young has been down has found that the offense for the Hawks screeches to a halt. They played up to touch. They made Jalen's life difficult, wouldn't allow him to get downhill, and it caused his efficiency numbers to drop. Now, that's not saying that Jalen played bad. Jalen played amazing. He had a bunch of assists, a bunch of rebounds, but efficiency shooting-wise, he was not very effective because of the defense that they were playing against our offense, and our offense is having a tough time adequately attacking that defensive style, and I don't see a way to fix it with the current players who are playing. We need an engine on the floor. And that would be Trae Young, who hopefully was coming back very soon. Next, we'll talk about the defense. In the third quarter, the defense was pitiful. For the first half, the defense was pretty good. Defense on Jokic was pretty good for the entire first half, and they struggled to shoot a little bit, missed some open opportunities, but the rotations were overall pretty good. But in the second half, the defense was very bad. And for a large portion of the third quarter, the defense was awful. And what I can say about that is there was very little Mo Gay in the third quarter. He is right now our most effective defensive player by the metrics. When he's on the floor, the defensive rating and defensive metrics that come out through for the Hawks is the best when Mo Gay is on the floor. So when Jokic starts to heat up, I would be putting in Mo Gay. You can go back to the film, watch Jokic's offensive possessions against Mo Gay in the first half, and then tell me in the second half, when Jokic was starting to really ramp up steam, you tell me if you would have rather had Kristaps Porzingis guarding Jokic or Mohamed Gay. He gets going. He only had like 8 points in the first half, ended up with almost 39 points. So, yes, I would like to see, 40 points. I would like to see us allocate a lot more minutes to Mohamed Gay. I think it would really help our defense. I have been calling for these Jalen at the 3 and Mohamed Gay playing the 4 at least 20 to 25 minutes every night, no matter what. He has to play. He is too crucial to our defensive output. Now, moving to the offense of the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic is so crazy good it hurts. He is just an outstanding passer. They run everything through him. He is a wonderful foul drawer. He doesn't turn the ball over. He makes jumpers and mid-range shots and shots in the paint and makes it all look easy. He is everything for their offense, and it's enough. That's all they need is him. And that's amazing to me. I mean, quite honestly, Bruce Brown, washed out everywhere else he's been. Tim Hardaway Jr. hasn't been a good player in 4 years. Played great tonight because he's playing off Jokic. Cam Johnson has a great night. Peyton Watson has a very good night. I mean, every player they needed to play well played well because they're playing off of Nikola Jokic and his ability. And that was very effective, especially in the second half when, again, I thought we did not deploy our best defensive line. In terms of their defense is pitiful. But they made a very good adjustment in the second half that caused us to have our offense be stifled for too long. And when that happened, they came back, got significantly ahead, and we were unable to mitigate the damages, and we lost. Moving forward to the player-by-player, Keaton Wallace played 10 minutes. He didn't score. He had 2 rebounds, 4 assists. I don't get why we're playing a 10-man rotation. If everyone's healthy, Keaton doesn't need to be playing. I like Keaton a lot. I literally just said, like 2 games ago, if he's making these point guard reads that he's been able to make over the last little bit, then I would think that he's going to play a lot more. But he's still not a rotation level player. You don't have to play 10 men just because, we need another guard. You're already playing Veit and Kennard a ton. There's no reason to play him. It doesn't make sense. You're not trying to develop him for the future. You're not dependent on him for really any skill. I just don't understand why we're choosing to go with a 10-man rotation when throughout Quinn's career he's chosen to go with a 9-man rotation. Just doesn't make sense. Moving on to Mo Gay. Mo Gay played 10 minutes. He had 3 points on 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He needs to attack the rim. He is a 6'11" freak human. Attack the rim. It's not hard. Just try. I think that's Mo's biggest thing right now is that he's just not trying it. And he has to be guarded. I like him shooting the ball from the perimeter. I don't want him to stop doing that. But if he catches it and he's got an opportunity to go to the rack, go to the rack. Make them guard you. Make them stop you. If they don't stop you, dunk it on their head. He had 3 rebounds. He didn't record a steal or a block and was -5 in the game. The defense is still awesome, but he's got to improve offensively to reach what he can be. Next, we'll talk about Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard played 18 minutes. He had 2 points on 2 shots. Shoot the ball, Luke. You do not give us anything if you do not shoot the ball. That's all I've got to say. Shoot the ball. 2 shots, way too few. Next, we'll move on to Vít Krejci. He played 28 minutes, had 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 5 of 8 from 3, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Hunting his jumper, looked great in the first half, didn't hunt it near as much in the second half. It hurt our offense, him not looking for his shot as much. When he's looking for his shot, the offense drastically improves. So I really would love to see him continue to hunt that jumper as much as possible. Kristaps Porzingis had his return game today, came off the bench. He played 20 minutes, had 25 points on 13 shots, wonderful efficiency, 4 of 7 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. The defense was really bad, but the offense was good. And honestly, I keep saying this, I don't care. If he comes off the bench, the defense is less important because he's getting less minutes. He only played 20 minutes. Honestly, he probably could have played even just a little bit less. Even though he was one of our more efficient scorers, I think it would have helped the defense to allow him to be a little more intense. And he's just coming off of having this extended illness problem. There were times where I thought that the defense did negatively affect us on the floor pretty significantly. Moving on to the starters, Zachary Richaussee played 21 minutes, had 9 points on 7 shots, 3 rebounds, no assists. Zach is playing really well. The shot is coming back to him. He's moving well off ball, and we are still refusing to play him enough minutes. He needs 30. People are coming into my mentions and wanting to know why we can't develop our young player and why is Zach not getting better and all this stuff. Well, we're not playing him. He's not playing the minutes that it takes to have a sophomore leap. He's got to play more. You know, I really like Quinn. I think Quinn is a great coach. I really do. But seriously, I think he might have worse rotations than even like Lloyd Pierce did. And that was his biggest problem, was how bad his rotations were. That he would play Jeremy Lin more than he played Trae Young. That's what cost him his job. And Quinn's are worse. And again, this is the year. This is the year where Quinn Snyder, if we do not improve, he will be fired. If we do not have a very good record and make a real dent in the playoffs, he will not retain his job. And he's playing these rotations that I think from just, I'm watching and I'm seeing the problems we're having. To me, as a person who deeply studies film and studies the game, these rotations are unexcusable. They do not make sense. The players who are playing well are not playing tons of minutes. It doesn't make sense. You have to play Zach more. He is playing too well not to play him more, especially defensively. To have a second-year player that's this good on defense is extraordinarily rare. He has to play more. Moving on, Dyson Daniels played 34 minutes. He had 15 points on 7 of 14 shooting, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 turnovers. Dyson, I thought, played very well. He was very good against the zone. He lost a little bit of intensity and ability against that man pressure that we were getting. And that is one thing that I say, the reason why it's so crucial for Trae to have the ball when they blitz. They blitz Trae, and he gets it out. He absorbs the pressure, and he gets it out to a teammate. And that teammate is Jalen Johnson. And now Jalen Johnson is attacking in a 4-on-3 situation where 2 men were guarding Trae, and they've now been pulled away from the play. And Jalen has now got 4 of his teammates and 3 defenders trying to stop them. And he is attacking the rim with ferocity. That is how you keep a team from blitzing your best player. Right now, we have Jalen will get blitzed and he'll throw it to Nall and he'll shoot a 3, and he's been scoring a lot of points that way. Playing very well because he's taking the shots that are open, playing off the blitz coverage that's coming at Jalen. When Dyson gets it, he's catching it and he's hesitant of what he wants to do. He's catching, he knows he's open. Should I shoot it? Should I drive? I don't care which one he does, but he cannot hesitate. It must be an immediate punishment of that coverage. When Jalen absorbs the double and the kick is to Dyson, Dyson is the release valve, he's the one who's open. He's got to catch it and immediately crack that defense and get to the rim. try to dunk it on somebody's head, or at least get a free layup. And then, if they stop you, you kick it to a different wide open teammate because you're in a 4-on-3 situation. But if you hesitate, you give them time to recover off of that blitz. And now it's just playing normal 5-on-5 basketball again. You're not punishing them for the blitz coverage. That is the way you have to attack the defense, and that's what Dyson is not really getting done right now because he's just a little hesitant. But the defense is amazing, and overall, especially against the zone, he played very well finding his spots against the zone. He just needs to learn to find his spots and attack aggressively off the blitz coverage. Moving on to Onyeka Okongwu. Onyeka played 28 minutes. He had 13 points on 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Onyeka came out on fire from 3 and then really cooled off. And after he cooled off, he lost his aggressiveness. And that ended in him not playing well in the second half. The defense was bad against Jokic in the second half. And it was kind of the catalyst for them. Like, his bad start was the catalyst for them to start coming back. And we saw what happened. Onyeka, honestly, I don't care if he's making it or not. He has to remain aggressive offensively because he is small. The offense has to be his kind of calling card. And if you have a half where you basically don't score, I mean, I believe he had all but one of his points in the first half. And so when the second half you're not playing aggressive, you are not going to be able to add enough value at the size Onyeka Okongwu is defensively in order to make it where your offense can be a 0 in the second half. And so that's why we saw them close with Kristaps, and I did think that was probably the right idea. I thought maybe it would have been a good idea to close with Mo, but I understand they probably don't trust him right now. But I thought the job he showed and did against Jokic every minute he was in the game, I would have loved to see him be the guy who's like, we are going to stop their best player down the stretch. That is kind of how you have to play in the NBA, is focus on like, we will stop their best player down the stretch, because down the stretch of a close game is about whose most unguardable player is the most unguardable. Which one can't they tentatively stop? If our team has the most unguardable player, we will win. And if their team has the most unguardable player, they will win. And their team had the most unguardable player tonight. Maybe we could have done something to mitigate that. And I think that would have been playing Mo. Next, we'll talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Naw had 30 points on 10 of 17 shooting, 5 of 9 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Naw played great. He's playing really well off that blitz coverage because, again, when they blitz and they kick it to Naw, he just catches it and immediately fires it. He does not care what is going on. He is going to shoot that ball. And I love that because that makes it where the defense has to hesitate. Do we really want to leave this guy who's shooting 40% from 3 to stop this guy who maybe we can stop him at the rim? That makes the kind of between a rock and the hard place that you put a defense. That's what we want. We want to make it sure that they don't know which one they want to do. Do we actually want to blitz their Jalen Johnson, or do we want to leave the shooter open? I don't want to do either one. How do we? Naw has been doing a great job of attacking that coverage, and against the zone, he just stood where the crease in the zone was and caught it, and either was able to penetrate and attack the rim, or was able to catch it and shoot it. Overall, played very well, especially in the half court tonight. I felt kind of bad for his offensive performance because when you play that well on offense as the secondary player, you really hope to win that game. And lastly, we'll talk about Jalen Johnson. Jalen had 21 points on 9 of 20 shooting. Again, efficiency was not good. But he had 18 rebounds and 16 assists with only 3 turnovers. He played great. That's the thing that is sad to me, is it's not a lack of ability or Jalen being able to play well. It's that schematically right now, when a team blitzes us, we are not able to attack that blitz the way we need to. And so just to me, I go, no matter how well Jalen plays, if we do not have the personnel to attack that, then we cannot win consistently when a team does that kind of coverage against us. But if we have Trae and they blitz him, Jalen is the personnel who attacks the blitz. Imagine, we've seen it a bunch of times, there's a piece of footage, I believe it's when he dunked on Chet Holmgren, when Trae is getting a screen and they come to blitz and Jalen catches the ball as the release valve and he just one dribble, attacks the rim, goes up and just yams it on one of the best players at the rim in the NBA. That is what we are missing. We are missing the fact that Jalen isn't supposed to be the one who's getting blitzed. Jalen is the one who's supposed to punish the blitz. We need Trae to be the one who's getting blitzed so that Jalen can be the one who's punishing the blitz. That is why having Trae is so crucial. And that is what I'm saying of, like, if you do these trades where you're trying to go get Giannis, or you're trying to go get this player or that player, none of them are Trae Young. I don't care what the national media says. Watch basketball and tell me how many players in the NBA draw the defense's attention like Trae does. You won't find one. So when he draws their attention and then he kicks to Jalen, if Jalen is playing as aggressive as he is playing right now, Jalen will crease that defense so fast it will make your head spin and he will dunk on their head. And if they do somehow miraculously stop him, it's still a 4-on-3 advantage and he will kick it to a wide open three-point shooter who will make it, because we now actually have good shooters on our roster, which we have not had for a few years. Trae Young is what will make this click. Right now, we're actually struggling. We're 4-6 in our last 10. And the difference is that defenses have learned how to cover our offensive game without Trae Young. Moving forward, there was a report that came out a few places today that Trae is looking to come back a little early. I don't know what that will mean, but hopefully we get him back very soon. We play on Saturday, tomorrow, against the Washington Wizards. Please don't lose to Washington again. Show up. Have your brain about you. Don't underestimate your opponent. Play hard. Win the game. Let me know your thoughts on everything that I've said about our offense and our defense, whether or not you agree or disagree, what you think about the rotations that are being thrown out there. Like, comment, subscribe, do all this stuff, and above all else, I hope you have a great day.